Hey folks, I wanted to shoot a quick behind the scenes video. I got on my Catalyst call this morning. We started talking about something very interesting, which is everything about offers and positioning as far as having multiple ways in the same container to work together. This is really important. Check this video out. It'll really help you see the ways that you can structure offers. A lot of us have these preconceived notions, rules, made up beliefs and ideas about the ways we can structure our business, when in the reality we can do things a lot easier. So check out the video. You'll really love it if you are working to get an offer dialed in for your premium or your backend. All right, catch you around.
Hello.
Good day to you, sir.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, yeah?
Good, man. Good. Going through some fun legal things. I got to restructure my company to give my wife shares because for some reason we never did that. It was dumb. I always thought like tax benefits. Yeah. Not have partners and then talk to my accountant. No, like you did that all wrong. So but we're going through that process. But anyway, it's all good. You good?
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Whenever lawyers are involved, definitely.
Oh, couldn't think of anyone worse. Actually, no, they're not all bad, in fairness. They just don't talk our language.
Yeah, I know. That's a good thought part of the process. What was I going to say? You have questions, Simon? Yeah, all of it. I just wanted to share really quick. I'm gonna experiment with this, and just wanted to show you guys really quickly. So I'm thinking of playing with the model a little bit, and I just built this in 5. But in essence, what I'm really wanting to test is, and this is like a little bit of a change. So I always love to have different offers because I see people buy different types of offers. So as an example, for the Catalyst, I've launched a few different versions of it. So I've launched the 7K sprint, I've done an offer install, I've done just the Catalyst doc. And what I see is like different people reply to different messages. And what I want to try to do is play on that, but also then create an environment that is just very easy for people to say yes to. And so one of the things I'm going to be playing with in this experiment, what I want to do is I'm going to basically turn going from micro to mid ticket to some sort of a one-on-one hybrid sprint for 4 weeks, where then they get 6 to 12 months of Catalyst. I'm not sure what the pricing is going to be, but I want to price this around like, I'm not going to type of my keyword, 5 to 10K, somewhere in here. And then this would be obviously like, I'll say 2.5-ish per month, right? And my goal is that I want to bring people into something, into a container where I see that they have enough one-on-one support with me for the start that they're able to then get going really quick, because I see people, they come in and the biggest problem is that they spend way too much time on their own shit. So they come in and they're like, oh, I need to worry about this integration or this button, or like, how do I set up this page? Like all this really ridiculous stuff. In my mind, ridiculous, but in their mind, it's their reality. So it's not ridiculous. It's just what they see as a problem that I see as something you can move past really quick. And so I always think like, how could I support these people to take the headache, overwhelming process out of their hands and just literally plug myself in and just say, oh, we'll just build this, we'll build this, we'll build this. And let's just run this. We'll get you up and running in 4 weeks, and then I'll give you 4 to 6 months to a year, depending on which offer you want to choose, to support you on this. If I can get someone in an offer install, they move a lot quicker, simply because like I've done the grunt work of figuring out the productized offer for them. And I'm thinking, could I combine this into a higher tier offer where we do a little bit more, where it's like, hey, let's get your 1-page productized offer built, and then we'll work together and get you a mid-ticket up and running. And I might even throw a done for you option in here. I'm thinking about how I can play with it on the pricing, because my goal, I realize, is that if I can get somebody into motion and out of their own way, first of all, done for you stuff and one-on-one stuff is really appealing right now in the market because again, there's so much AI info products, courses, stuff out there that if you can give someone like a container, even if it's like a one-on-one container for a few weeks to get them over the hurdle that they're probably going to deal with, and most likely it's a mental thing over everything. Sometimes it's a little bit tactical, but most likely it's like they're over investing in one area that they shouldn't be and under investing in the core things that actually matter that we know that matter. So if we can get them over those hurdles within a few weeks, then it allows us to actually charge a lot more because we're including more of ourselves in the offer. We're able to get them up and running a lot faster. And then we're able to then ascend them and actually get them in motion and then say, hey, if you enjoyed this one-on-one experience for the right people, this is like a just side door offer that you make. Hey, I would probably only make this to someone that's pretty established and scaling. Hey, we really enjoyed working with you together here one-on-one. You can stay here, or I can prorate this and we can move you over to just working with me full-time one-on-one, or we'll get this stuff down in. And I think this is always a lever that you can pull is like, how much of yourself you want to include in the offer. And if you can create like a few different variables that stack on each other, it makes the offer way better. So again, there's no rules to this stuff. You just have to choose what is best for you and is in most alignment, but it's always trying to think of what is the thing that is causing them the bottleneck. And a great example that I was just thinking of, I was watching this guy who runs, what's that company's? Late Checkout. He's a really cool guy. He owns like 9 marketing agencies, and he had this great video on how to find SaaS ideas. And one of the things he talked about is like, whenever somebody has to click an export button in an application, which means it's like you're moving data from here to here, that's a bottleneck. And so you want to think like, where are my clients trying to do an objective? Like they're trying to get an objective, but it's like, painful to do it. And can you do it a lot faster, easier, and better if you just sat down with them for X amount of time to get it done and then said, hey, let's just work together. Let's get this part installed and get you in motion. And then I'll work with you in my group for the next 6 months, or I have a one-on-one option as well if you enjoy the one-on-one experience. And so this is one of the things I'm going to be playing with. My goal is I want to see how far I can stretch this, and getting the weekly recurring is great. But can I get 5 or 10 of these a month? That would be pretty sweet. So that's going to be like the experiment I'm going to be running over this quarter is like more intimacy, more support with people, and building a really great one-on-one container where I can do something with them for 4 weeks where it's like week 1, we get this, week 2, we get this, week 3, we do this, week 4, we get this. Maybe there's a bonus week in there, week 5. And then, hey, we're 6 months, we're going to support you in Second Catalyst. So it's like, we're getting you in motion and then we're going to cash flow it and guide you together. So just one thing to be aware of and how you can play with this, if you want to include more intimacy into your offers and charge more, right? Because ultimately what we're doing is fast forwarding the process for someone. If you think about it, like that's the reason they're paying you is because most people, if they're good clients, they could probably read like 5,000 books or a bunch of books and start doing the work. And if they just wanted to figure it out themselves, they could, but they're often buying time, speed, to move really quick and save the pain of spending money or spending hours or failing or whatever that is, right? And getting the mentorship and guidance to get there. So it's always our job to think, how can I create an experience that can get them over the initial hump a lot faster and into motion? And that again allows you to have a lot more price elasticity because you can charge a lot more. So if you think about that's a great way. I'm going to be elaborating more on this. I'll be teaching this once I get it dialed in. Oh, there's my whiteboard. There we go. I think this one. Yeah. So anyway. Just a quick note on that. Do you guys have questions on that?
I actually think that's a really good play. So with the 4-week thing, I just did that with one of my clients where it's like week 1, we're going to jump on a call and just go through things together. She absolutely loved that.
Cool.
But I've not done the next step to that. We're coming to week 4 and now I've found that what she's actually been doing is I've been charging a weekly, not in bulk sum. I probably should have done it in bulk sum. But she ended up cancelling because she was just really conscious that cancelling every week and then renewing just so it doesn't automatically take out of her account.
Okay.
Put an end to that now and just said, stop doing that. But I feel like at the end of the 4 weeks, what I found with her is that she's absolutely loved everything. I can still see she's a bit unsure because on the tech side and stuff, but I don't believe she's going to be willing to move on to the next step.
That's right. You don't have to.
But sorry, just to say, one at the end of that 4 week, do you not think with one-on-one with them, they're going to feel like they've just had enough in sense of they've gotten all the value from you, and then they're not going to want to continue? That's the feel that I've got recently. Not with you, with yeah.
So this is the thing, is that we don't. This is not about us getting. This is not about us strong-arming people. This is about us guiding people to the right decision for them. So if someone after that 4 weeks is like, hey, I got the 4 weeks, I'm just going to use the catalyst, wonderful, go for it. You're in a great position now where you can say, hey, we just did this 4 weeks together. What I could theoretically do is if you're wanting to keep working together, I'm rolling out this new offer that's going to be like this price. Let's just say it's $5,000. But hey, I can just prorate everything you paid for the one-on-one. And we'll just roll into that. So if she gave you like 1,000 or whatever it is, you'd say, hey, because I think you've got the gist of it. And if you want to keep working one-on-one together, it's there. Or I can literally just prorate this and use it as a coupon towards this offer that you can, if you want to pay it quarterly or in 3 payments or installments, whatever that is, you're welcome to do that. So
would it also be worth just slightly tweaking what you just said and going with like the chiropractor approach, where what they did was they said you need 5 weeks of weekly sessions, and then we turn you into the monthly thing. So a personalized monthly service. So you just come in once a month and that sort of thing, just for a higher price than the traditional one. Would that be a decent option as well?
Yeah. Dude, absolutely. It's your business. You can structure it however you want. So you could absolutely do that. It's just, I just want to think like synergy. So if you have a lower tier membership as an example, or a lower tier community, then you could just say, hey, the price of that is this, but we'll just roll what you paid one-on-one into this. And then you get 5 months or 6 months of access. Because I feel like you have the gist, but the biggest thing you're probably going to encounter is this and this. So this is the best. That's why I believe this is the best thing for you. And you just have to, it's like the doctor in essence, or the chiropractor. You have to tell people where to go, or they will just choose not to go anywhere. So that's like the biggest thing is it's your responsibility to keep them in motion and give them the options. If you don't give them the options, then they just leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a good play. And I'll be expanding more on this. I'm going to be working on the doc. I've got a few calls with new members today, and then I'm going to be playing around with this and structuring a good way to just sell it on autopilot and a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll dive in. Any other questions on this?
I got to follow up on that if he doesn't have one, just so I'm clear about what you just said. If Marty's done.
No, I'm done. Go for it.
Oh, so were you saying after the first 4 week section, 6 week session, whatever it is, that you continue one-on-one, or you bring them into one of our productized offers? So what was the second?
I'm going to give them the option. And what I would do is, depending on who the client is, so if someone, because the best Ascension opportunities I found is literally for one-on-one clients, they join the Catalyst or they have our one-on-one call and they say, yeah, I don't like group stuff. And I'm like, perfect. This is probably great. Those are always the best. And so what I would like, the way I'm going to frame it is basically the initial offer is going to be, hey, come in for 4 or 5 weeks, and then you're going to get 6 months to a year access of this. And what I'm probably going to do is structure it as 6 months and then have an order bump that says, oh, do you want to get an entire year? Just pay this little bit extra, just so that people have options, right? And again, I'm just going to play around with this. My goal, I just want to create like an infinite money glitch and see if I can run the hell out of it and just have some fun with it. But in essence, you don't have to bring them into a one-on-one. The core thing you're doing is getting them over the hump of whatever they get stuck on the most. So if they're like, as an example for you, for book writing, it's probably like they're probably figuring out their story and their book and the outline and maybe even writing it. And so maybe for you, it's like, hey, in 2 weeks, we'll write your book. In 2 weeks, we'll build the funnel. And then 6 months, we'll cash flow it together.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I always wanted to see, because that's basically the play I ran here with the client I have now. Like, I showed him the whole thing. Here's what it is for the whole year, right? And he was like, I just want this one section. The book's written. I just need someone to review it, make sure all the pieces are in there, and then build the funnel. So I was like, all right, here's the price for that. I gave him $4,800. Here's the price to get that done. I'll review it. and build your funnel for you. So I did that all in ClickFunnels. We had him launch within 6 weeks, maybe 5-6 weeks. Had him launch, and then he was like, "No, dude, I need to keep you on as my copywriter." So now he's been paying me $1,000 a month after that.
And that's often how it goes, is that people just come in and they say, "Oh, this is great. I just want more," right? And everyone is custom. So if people can feel like they're getting that custom solution, that's the best thing. But for you, maybe even do it. And again, the time horizon of the one-on-one piece is irrelevant. So if you say, "Oh, 6 weeks is perfect," it's like, hey, we work together one-on-one for 6 weeks. We're doing a 6-week sprint. This is what we're getting done. And then after that, you get 6 months in my premium program where I'm going to support you on making sure you're cash flowing, you're running your ads, you're making daily sales. At the end of the 6 weeks or even in the middle of it, if you find they're a good fit, it's always an opportunity to say, "Hey, by the way, I have an opportunity where if you don't like group calls and you don't want to do this yourself, you just want me to write all your ads and make sure your funnel's dialed in, and we can meet like once every 2 weeks and chat on WhatsApp or whatever, I can just do that. I have an option for that. If you want that at the end, let me know." You can just give people the buffet and build something custom. You build a custom done for you plan based on the style you work.
That's essentially what I'm doing now, is writing his emails and all that type of stuff when he's done, the copywriter, and I charge him $1,000. He's already told me, he's like, "Dude, you need to double your prices." And I'm like, "Okay, so if you want to pay me more, he's not with me, with everyone else."
You know what?
So yeah, I fell into that by accident. You know what I'm saying? Just what do you need? And let's create an offer for that. Then I continue doing this for 3 to 4, maybe 5 people. I can continue doing that. But I definitely would want to be more at that $2,000 minimum a month for looking at his ads every week and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think mine done for you is like 2,600, and it's a mix between coaching and done for you. Whenever somebody's happy, ask them, "Hey, can you do a video case study with me? I'd love to do that." And then second, say, "And by the way, if you want a free month, if you refer me anyone, I'll give you a free month." That's always what I did.
Okay.
Client, he gave me like 4 people. I was working for free for 4 months, and I was so happy because he gave me like 40 grand in new contracts. I was like, "Perfect, man. Thank you."
I'll run that play today or tomorrow when I meet with him.
Yeah, do it. It's a great play. And especially those people that are really happy, it's like you want to hit them at the peak when they're very happy, because it could even be a micro win. They just got this huge win. It doesn't have to be this massive win. I just say, whenever anyone's happy, I'm asking you for a case study right away. And then, hey, if you want to refer more people, I got this opportunity too. Cool. I think that, especially for you, I think if you did a 6-week sprint to 6 months in your community or the done for you option, it would be great. And you can just keep your community price low, so it's very accessible, and then keep your done for you higher to show the price gap of the value that they get, because premium people look for premium solutions. If price is price is something a lot of people shy away from, when in reality, it's like wealthy people look for price, right? If you're making 10 or $100 million a year, if you see an offer that's $700, you're like, "Ooh, this is off." And I was hearing from one of the top sales guys. He works for this really big person. He's like a sales trainer, but he also was like closes for a lot of people. And he says one of the things is they have a $50,000 a year package. And he's like, it's fantastic because those people that are joining this program, they want that level, that they want to know that there's not just like normal everyday people in here. If you're making a $50,000 per year investment, like you're a bigger player. And so having always that higher level, there's always a group of people that will pay for it. And especially for all of us, like your goal should be, I always heard like at least 100,000 in LTV, have an offer so big and just throw it out there. Hey, look at you, Paul, as an example. Hey, why don't we meet up for a week? I'll fly to you and I'll train you one-on-one, and it's 20 grand, right? Like you can play with these types of things, and you never know who in your audience might say yes to that. They're just looking for the right offer. So many places you can play with this. Anyway, this was great. I love this. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing. That's always what I'm doing. I'm just playing with stuff. And when I figure it out, I'll just give it all to you so you can run it. But to hold down to your question, so Facebook ads, what do you got going on, man?
If you look in school, I can just drop the links, but I need to get these ads out. So I just need you to look at and confirm some things with the copy. I can put it in the chat.
Okay. Wow, we got a lot in here, man.
I let's look at the copy first. I dropped the copy together. So this is what's been, those are the 2 ads that are running. So one was the worldwide.
Yep.
Worldwide, I'm really just only getting people from India, it seems.
Okay. So then what I would do is if you don't want to do the worldwide one, which I'm playing more with extending this, do all of these and include Europe and Singapore.
So when I do Europe, is that stupid question? I should know this, but would it be United Kingdom and Europe, or does Europe also cover United Kingdom?
I believe Europe covers all of United Kingdom as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. And then you could just to bulk in more countries here, right? So you could
is North America an option, or
that includes Mexico, which can be a little iffy.
okay?
So if you're again, because you have volume, like you already have a good number of purchases. What I
worked it out, and my ads, I haven't been getting anybody for the last couple 4 or 5 days. I think it's probably because my daily spend is at $25. And I think one of the worldwide, I have a limit on, I forget if it's like a percentage or something or like a certain amount of spend that they get versus the other ads.
Oh,
so I think, so it's taking longer until I reach I only charge myself once it reaches $200. Why was I telling you that? I forget.
That's key. So the biggest thing to pay attention to with worldwide is if your CPM, if you're doing a broad ad set here, like you're in Canadian dollars, if your cost per million, your CPM goes below $11, something's wrong. Okay.
So what I was wondering so at the top, I put the different variations. Can you move up for a second? Those first line variations, those are pretty much verbatim pulled from my website page, so it matches. Okay. But my question is, do I just change those out on and put that at the very top of each ad? So for example, guide your clients to uncover their own solutions. If you go to 1, that would just be the first line. Is that the idea?
Yeah. I think
1 and 2 are very similar and 3 is different. Those were the best performing ones. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd highly recommend for your brain too is just to make a copy of this. This is from the program. And whenever you create more ads just for ease, you can just duplicate this and then dump in your ads, multiply it, because then you can see very clearly these are my ads and everything's here. So just for I created this for myself, and what I'm basically going to be doing is whenever I roll out ads, I'm just going to name this offer, whatever my offer is. Let's just say it's mint ticket, whatever. And then if I wanted to roll these out, I just duplicate this, and whenever I want, then I can see all my ads that I've ever created in one place. But for simplicity for this, I just wanted to go look and see. I think you should. Yeah, I'm still thinking that.
I need to get these out today because I have so many other things to work on, and even if I refine them and make them better down the road. But
so I just think these should be shorter. So shift problems that your clients need. Like, I think the big thing you're missing here is hitting on the mechanism. This is the best performing one right here. These two.
All 3 of those.
All 3 of these. Ask targeted questions about the problem, spot unconscious cues, watches your client. I would say this is a good line. So if I was to take this, all I would do, if you wanted to do this in 5 minutes next time, don't go through this whole creation thing. Take this one. If this is your best performer, come down here, paste this again, and change this top line. You literally have.
But I thought that's what the whole point of those lines up top are.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want to hit on this theme, right? Because what you're trying to do is create something new instead of just expanding off of this. Does that make sense? Which is fine. It works.
That's what I was confused about.
Yeah. So you could, as an example, you could literally just check if I here, just for simplicity, like doing a slight modification of this. And then you could do, and I'll just just to show you how I would do it. So you created a few 1, line 2. You could say, let's grab another.
What do you mean? So that's the order that they're going in? Like those are literally line 1 and line 2?
Yeah, meaning like this is, if I was to copy this, I would just do this. This is normally what I'll do. So I'll just add line. And I might get rid of this unnecessary line.
Here. Oh. And then say, let's start. Oh, you had another good line. You take this. I like this stuff. What did I do? I screwed up somewhere. Making your doc a mess.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't have time for this. I have my 4-week live to prepare for, and I have a webinar to prepare for, and I need to get these ads out. So this is very frustrating because I've done this, keep making changes for 2 weeks now. I'm not getting angry at you. It's just, I just want to put them up.
Yeah.
And I keep having to like make changes, and then I make changes, and then I come back and show you, and then we have to do something completely different every time.
No, it's just, you know what I think for me is I just like to get the ads. My goal is to do this right once, because then if you do it right once, then it will just run.
Yeah, that's my whole point. Because if I'm going to put them up and then it's going to collect all the data and stuff like that, and I'm going to duplicate it. It's like I want to do it right, but I also don't want to like just keep stalling because I keep modifying stuff all the time.
Paul, I think what you could do is you could have probably just gone to AI and said, give me like 10 versions of this line, plug them in here, and then switch some headlines, run it, and the only thing you should change really is the images and the videos.
But isn't the point that the ad copy carries over and matches what's on the website?
Definitely.
If it says something different and then they get to the website and they go, wait a second, that's not what I thought. That's what I was trying to do, was take what's actually written on the website.
And that's all I did. I went to this format and I just changed. I just go off the formats that I have.
So you're just changing the first line, but it's more like you're integrating those other ideas.
Yeah, so if you have winners, all you got to do is just slightly duplicate the winners. That's it. So all I did with this one is I just put 1495 equals this. I just changed the format slightly.
And each ad has 5 variations. So I'd have 15 ads, or 3 ads, but 5 variations each.
That's the one. Use conversational transformer. Yeah, because it's like you just have 5 flexibles, right? So use converse to help clients achieve deep conversational breakthroughs. Like I just took the price away. See? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just showing this because it's once you get the hang of it, that it's like very easy. And you're like, oh, okay, I can just do this. Let's grab one more of your lines up here. You would create space. So you could literally just push, create the space for life-altering transformations to occur with minimal effort.
Okay, I can work on that.
Got it? Yeah, all you're doing is you find one winner and then just duplicate it over and over again. Create like slate.
Okay.
So throw one like here. Shift problems. Shift problems. Conversations. I think and then that's it. And then you're just take your best headline. Put 5 different verbs in front of it if you want to. You don't have to do a big thing. And honestly, if you just did this, and because the issue I saw with your ads is you were just using the same type of image variation over and over again. If you just switch that image variation, it'll be fine.
I have some images. Can you just take a look at what I have? They're not the best,
right?
But so I created some video. Those are the old ones. That's the new one. That's like a comic thing.
That's good.
Just start at the bottom, I guess. I'm wondering if these are like, I took images from videos, but they're grainy.
That's fine.
But if they're like smaller, then it should be fine, right?
Yeah, just use that one. Trust me.
It's from a Zoom call. It's me like zooming into me teaching.
It's funny. You can literally, I would test without even a caption. I would just test the image. I found things that don't look like ads perform so well.
Yeah, I've tried, Marty, but it made me look like a demon. Sometimes it works, sometimes it says it doesn't. Can you just check the video thing? Are those captions okay, like where they are? So I'm using a square.
Holding on to something.
Yeah, that should be fine. They may in some weird formats, but I wouldn't worry about it.
You don't have to look at the testimonials, but look at me, the website screen share. Is it okay if I still use this, even though not much is happening with the video itself?
I would like when your face is on it
And get better results.
But
I know.
Hey everyone.
Speaking to camera, I just like, I have no smile on my face.
Dude,
I hate speaking to a camera.
if you're worried about timelines, like you're not spending much per day, go throw this up and see what happens. These look fine to me. If you start having
Throw all of these image variations up.
Choose your favorites and throw them up. Put at least 3 videos. You need 10 images and videos in a flexible ad. So 10 images and videos.
Combined.
Yeah, in one flexible.
And each ad has the 10 variations.
Yeah, if you're doing this, what I would do is duplicate an ad set of one of the core countries, duplicate the ad set, put in Europe, put in all of Europe to expand it, and then plug in the new ads there. If your other ones aren't performing, you shut them off. And then just have the one ad set running, because you can just have one ad set running for 20 or 30 bucks a day. You don't need 3 or 4 ad sets in there. Probably screw things up having more.
All right, I'll just do what I think you told me, and then we can look at it on Thursday.
Yeah, again, ad stuff it's mainly offer things fatigue. So for you, like the fact that the offer is working decently, I would just
Yeah, I actually looked at with my upsells and stuff like that. I thought I was 700 in the red, but I'm actually only like 300 in the red. And that's with not making any money for 5 days.
that doesn't even count the people that ascended, so that's pretty good.
All right. Sorry for my frustration, but
Dude, it's all good. That's why I wanted to show it, because I think it's important to just say this is, again, a lot of people, it's very easy to think, oh, I need to go create something brand new. It's way better to just say, this is what's working. Let's just make some very slight tweaks. And again, I think the big reason your ad fatigue is you just have one creative type in your ad.
yeah, and I know the creatives aren't that good. It's just, and I have like really limited with my, and I know the brand colors aren't important, but
just throw these up there. And
I get when it comes to making that stuff, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I know I just need to get stuff out.
That's okay. Go for it. Yeah, keep it simple.
Okay. All right.
See you.
See you later.
Here we go. Oh, Sangeetha, upsell review. Yeah, so whatever happened with, I saw you post in WhatsApp. So what happened with the ads in the end? I was just a bit confused. You just said the ad set, everything reset. But was it working or what happened?
The stats in the funnel page reset.
Okay.
And yeah, for the ads, I put in a new set of creatives, just not the visuals or the video, but everything else. The primary text, description, and yeah, I'll show you the stats after I reset, which was, so I reset it on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, I reset. So these are from 10. Yeah, 8 to 10.
Okay. So how much have you spent?
Because the workshop was on the 12th.
Okay.
I spent $100 on 11th and 12th, and then I put it back to 50.
Okay.
So I'll show you if I go here, and I put it at between 10th and 14th.
Okay.
That's
Can you show me? Yeah.
where do we see the whole total ad spend?
This is okay. Your ads to be a bit better. Your link click-through rate's only 1.5, but you're targeting India too, so I would.
Yeah, so $300, 314 for that period from 10th to the 14th.
Can you go back to your offer stats quick?
Yeah.
76. How many sales? You had 7 orders. So you're converting only at 2.5%. So something is wrong. What's that? 51 out of 71. 18% to checkout. That's pretty good. And then you're only getting 13% conversion on checkout, which either means you're just getting a lot of clicky people from India that are coming over. Or who are mainly your buyers? Do you notice where they're coming from? What countries do they buy from?
All over.
Okay.
There are some from India, some from Australia, New Zealand,
Okay.
some from England, some from the US. So it tends to be a good mix.
Do you have Europe included in your targeting?
Yeah.
All of Europe?
Yes.
So are you targeting worldwide then? Or are you just targeting select countries?
Sure. So the quality of people that are buying, it's not too bad because I talk to them and yeah, it's
Can
decent.
you just click on the targeting? I just want to see quick. And then we'll get out of the ads manager just because I think so scroll down. Yeah, Europe, Australia, India, Malaysia, United States. Okay. Oh, Malaysia too. So I think what I would do for this is I would just, because you're basically targeting worldwide, I would just try a worldwide audience and see what happens. And if you're like, the big thing to pay attention to is if your cost per million goes below $11, that's a problem. Like yours is like 15 right now. So I would test duplicating and do a worldwide one. The other thing to ask too is, did you put your old ads in this or you just tested the new ads, right? So go look at your ads.
Yes. Okay. These are the new ads. I turned off the long form
Can
because
you-
only
Can you go out of the stats? I just want to see the setup. So you turned that one off. Okay. Why did you turn that one off?
remember how we discussed that was not converting, and you said if it reaches 40, turn it off. Yeah, it was almost at 40. That's why I turned it off.
So I think that, I mean, on the ad side, the thing I see that you could do a little bit better, just taking a quick glance at your creatives, is you could have different types of creatives. These all look the same. So an example, like an easy thing you can do, which is just such a hack, is take a workshop recording, go plug it in something like OpenScript or Descript, cut out a ton of clips out of it, and just throw 3 or 4 clips of the workshop in there. Because having some videos is also a great way to convert, because people might see, I always find actually on evergreen ads, when I rolled out a video ad, it did really well. And also the clips will be a little bit weird. So you don't have to do much editing. If they look weird, that's good. It's always the stuff right now that just doesn't look like a very obvious ad, or it's like an extremely obvious ad. I think like just taking the asset you already have, which is the workshop, and literally just taking clips out of there is a really great play. The other thing I would start doing too is start doing some split tests. I think you might want to test moving the checkout form over to the sales page and just getting rid of the button to go to the checkout page, because like the way you have this set up, unless you use some really good tracking tools, you can't really tell what the conversion rate is. And because it's a live experience, like whenever I do a mid-ticket, I always just have it on one page, because it just seems, I don't know, that's just always the way I've done it for mid-tickets. I just want to keep it like this page converts. I don't need an abandoned cart sequence. So what I would test if I was you is move the checkout section of this and put it on the sales page. Go model my evergreen ads one and literally just put it at the bottom. Because see that split test, you're not going to get any data off of it, because it doesn't know what it's optimizing for. So one of those could be slaughtering your conversion rate. You don't know. Like you have no idea, because the only way you can track that is if you have an opt-in form on it.
I can declare this as a winner. Only difference is that it has the cost here. The pay button has the price on this. That's all. So I can actually declare this as, and see
Sure.
if that helps.
I mean, you're guessing, you don't really know, but I bet because it's not too major of a change, I think for this, what I would do is I would go down and get rid of these buttons.
So this is the one without, and then the main one is the one with the price. On the,
Oh,
I just
put a price on the buttons before. You had a price on the buttons before. Is that right?
Yes.
That's probably why the checkout page conversion rate may have gone down, because if you have the price on the button, they're obviously like, oh, I'm pushing this button. I have intent of what I'm purchasing. If that's the only difference, then I would do is just mark one as a winner. It doesn't matter. And I would test eliminating the checkout page, go follow my evergreen ads one, which I just posted in the chat, and test like literally just having a checkout form on the bottom. You don't even need buttons on there. Just let them scroll through the entire thing and then throw that on there. And I would test that first, because the conversion rate is only 2.5%. And if you can get that up to a 5 or a 6 for this type of an offer, it should be around there at this price point. My recommendation is to delete the buttons, remove your checkout page from the funnel, and just literally have a checkout on the page.
Would I still have the upsells on there?
Of course, you can literally have the order bumps and everything on the order form, right? So what you could do is, I'm just thinking of a simpler setup, because I'm thinking maybe there's something getting lost in translation moving to the checkout. But if you go look at my evergreen ads one really quickly, just scroll to the bottom, you see how the checkout is right here. And there's an arrow pointing down. I have a little section like confirm your details, and we go live. And a few things to note on this: look at the checkout, the headline of the form, where it says launch evergreen ads at sending passively, make sales day after day, confirm your info below, full name, email, and then you can have your order bumps there, no problem. And then make sure your button has a call to action on it. So it's like, that should just basically be very similar to whatever the headline is. And then make sure that you have that line like backed by our unconditional guarantee, whatever it is, right below there. That's really key. So I would test having this and see it, because then the nice thing is then you're only optimizing for one page. And I'm going to be switching most of my offers to just a one-page setup. It seems to just be a little bit smoother than having a checkout page. And the market shifting, most people are used to buying from this type of format now. So I'm going to like test basically just having one-page setups, because it's going to be so much easier to optimize for. Because then you don't know if removing the price on the button killed your conversion rate or not. There's just no tracking. That you can get third-party tools to do it. It gets messy. Whereas like this, all you want to do is just throw the checkout, and then you can see, oh, this sales page is converting better. This one is converting worse. Does that make sense?
Got it. So it's only one call to action, and you just pay it. That's it.
Yeah, literally just have the checkout form on the page. Like that's it.
Okay.
Perfect. So
And then
I wouldn't worry about your upsell right now. Focus on getting this. And once this is dialed in, because you're like, your upsell will, like, again, you only had 11 sales since you reset the stats. And yes, it might need a little bit of tweaking, but I would test like putting everything on one page and see if that even increases the take rate, because then there's one less decision they need to make. Like they don't have to go to the page.
Okay, so hold on. I'll do this, and then I'll cut some clips from my video and launch it as a separate ad set.
Yeah.
Just videos. That ad set will just have videos.
Yeah, so I always do, and what I recommended and said in the new Evergreen ads is to have a combination. So have 2 to 3 videos, 2 to 3 demonstration like images, which is basically like you showing a mock-up or like a visual of how the process works. So as an example, you could take the sketch diagram you made and put that. You can even animate it and put that as an ad, right?
It's already there. It's a video.
Perfect. Okay. So like, that's a demonstration, anything like that. And then have a few caption images and a few lifestyle images. So lifestyle could literally be you on Zoom with a client. It could be you doing whatever. You practice anywhere, have any images of you working with clients, like anything like that. It doesn't matter if they're grainy or old, like that stuff can work so damn good.
Yeah.
And like I had a client that had the most grainy looking crappy image, and it was the one that scaled the best of literally just, I think it was a friend sitting in a chair and he was like having a conversation. Like it was just, so basic stuff like that can work really well. And I would have one flexible ad with those kind of variations inside. So lifestyle caption, which is basically a lifestyle or any image, anything with text on it is what I consider a caption image. Demonstration is anything where you're like showing a product, where it's like a product mock-up or whatever. And then, lifestyle is just you living your life. It could be you. It could literally be you with your family. You have that really nice photo with your husband. Throw that in.
Yeah. That's already there. So all of that's already in there. It's
Perfect.
just some more videos of the actual clips. And then maybe this workshop ran really well because I'd spoken to all of them beforehand. So they came in really warm, and the workshop itself was very good. And so people are commenting, right? So I'll just gray out the names and put the comment, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And it's decent quality. So I'm doing an open close for my productized offer, which ends on April 17th. And so I'm hoping people will buy that. I want to ask you one question. The productized offer doc is written for women. So it's got very gendered language, but a lot of men are coming in and they love the work.
Perfect.
So should I do a different version of the productized offer or just make it gender neutral?
Just make it general. All you might want to do is just alter the vision slightly so that it's really focused on where you're taking these people. So forget about gender. And because I think you might want to tweak your vision a little bit about where you're taking someone, but you probably already said what your vision for these people was on the workshop. So just whatever you said on that workshop, go look at the recording or whatever, or literally plug it into AI and say, hey, I'm looking to create a few visions for my business of where I'm taking people based on this transcript or what did I said here. You'll probably be able to pull a few good ones out because you probably had men on that workshop. You probably automatically and subconsciously adjusted your language to them as well. So what I would do is the only thing you might want to do, because I can't remember when we built that, I think it was very women specific, is change the vision of where you're taking someone.
Yeah, or have to, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to necessarily change all that. So I was thinking for now, because this is the first time I'm going to try and upsell men into my productized job, then I thought maybe I'll just make a copy, make it a little, and we'll see how it works. So you would have men only calls, or you just put everybody on a call? That's what
I would do everyone, absolutely. Why not?
Very
good. Yeah. No, I would do both. You could do that if you wanted to. You could have the male calls on this way and the female or whatever. But personally, I would just integrate it all. Do you think everyone's going to get upset about that?
Potentially. Yeah. Because it's the nature of what I do.
Okay, so a big thing is to never make assumptions. So what I would do is just do it with both and then people and say, hey, I'm thinking about splitting the calls. So one call is for men and one call is for women. Would you prefer to have two calls that either can join, or would you rather have separate and let them choose? Because it doesn't make sense that you do 4 calls a week for 2 different genders.
Because there are only 2 people on my productized offer. We only meet once a week. The calls itself are 3 times because for time zones and stuff. So what's my focus should be on for the next week, like priority wise, this is to ascend people first, but then also just crank the ads and get it working.
So I would do 2 things. So send a daily email.
Setup. That's going
Excellent.
on. Like,
Perfect. The other thing I recommend, watch the start of this call, because I did a little bit of an introduction on how I'm going to be testing more sprints, which I think would work really well for you, which basically is charging a bigger lump sum of money up front and giving them then 6 months of access to the productized offer, but then working with them one-on-one for the 4 or 5 week container. So you can basically, what I'm talking about doing, and you don't have to do this for this launch, right? Like the nice thing is you'll get different people will buy different offers. So I would say continue as planned. And I'm basically going to roll out a version of this doc. I'll share it with you and you can model it. But in essence, like what I would say for this is get people into the productized, do your thing. And basically what you can do also is make sure, like, especially with you, if you're wanting more people, add a call to action at the bottom or in the emails and say, hey, by the way, like if you want to jump on a call to talk about this and make sure it's right for you, let me know. And so you could, whenever you send the doc out as an example, you could include that in your emails to say, by the way, if you want to have a quick 15-minute call after reviewing the document to make sure this is right, because the question these people are always asking is, my situation is unique. I went through X situation in life. Is this for me? And so if you can just say, hey, a lot of people are wondering based on their unique circumstances, if this is right for them. If that's you and you're really interested, but you want to make sure, here's a link to book a 15-minute call with me and we can dive into it together.
Yeah, so they're already doing that in the workshop. So that's what I'm selling them. And then they come to the workshop and then some of them are booking another call. I'm not asking.
So there's 2 things to do here, right? So one is like direct invitation. So if you have a few people on the workshop that you're like, would be a good fit, be like, hey, I know you may have asked for this already. I think you'd be a fantastic fit for this. And this is why. Would love to have a quick one-on-one chat about it. And I'll just show you what we can do together, right? So going a little bit more direct can be great. It's like the marketing is fantastic, but when you can hone in on a few select people and be, hey, based on our chat and what I saw in the workshop, I think this would be a really good fit for you because of this. If you want to jump on a one-on-one and dive into this and show you why and what we do together, I'd love to do that. That's a really good play.
Okay, one more question. So do I turn it on after I edit the checkout page and put the new videos in, or should I just turn it on now and then?
You can just turn it on now. Yeah, you're basically targeting worldwide. Like you're targeting India, you're targeting Malaysia, like you're targeting these kind of theoretically lower economic countries. So what I would do is, if it was me, I would just duplicate the ad set, put it worldwide, and test keeping your long form ads on as well and see, because sometimes when you duplicate an ad set and target a new audience, the old ads work.
Okay, so I turn this on.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You can if you want to, but just, yeah, duplicate the ad set and change the age by 1 and turn it worldwide. And make sure you have some, I would probably make sure for worldwide, you're just niching down by personal development as an example. It's probably a good one for you.
Help me with that. I think that's right. So what do I do here?
You're taking whatever ad set and you're just duplicating it.
Okay, so this ad set is what I'm duplicating.
Whichever one is live right now, just duplicate it and change. Just literally plug in worldwide and plug in like personal development as an interest and just test it, because you're basically targeting worldwide right now. So I think you'd probably be fine.
Okay, worldwide.
Yep.
And I keep the current ad set too, right? But wouldn't that be confusing?
I just got your screen sharing just for time because I gotta move on here. I got another call coming up a little bit later and I got a few questions to roll through. But no, if you have something working, as long as it's within KPI, leave it running and you'll be good. Duplicate it,
put an interest in it worldwide. Put personal development as one interest in worldwide, because you basically, again, you're not changing much on the ad sets or the ads at this moment. You're just duplicating the ad set. You're punching in worldwide. So you go to the audience, you choose worldwide, and then you're just putting in one interest, which I believe like the best one for you is probably personal development, because anyone that's interested in personal development would probably be interested in what you're doing. Make sense? Go watch the Evergreen Ads program, because I walked through literally how to do this too. But it's very, like, for you, it's just you're duplicating, but expanding the audience. That's it. Okay. You're broken up, so I'm going to assume you're good. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Does that make sense? You good?
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, keep us posted. Okay, Lorenzo, good to see you, man. I've had a hard time upselling the low ticket buyers and the high ticket. I'd like to take a look at the high ticket offer with you. Currently have it around podcasting, trying to flip them into a workshop done for you. Oh, yeah, no shit. You're going off like a completely different reframe. So you're selling them the podcasting offer on the front end, but then you're trying to flip them into a done for you, like low ticket.
Yeah, what's happening right now is we have this low ticket offer that's getting a lot of buyers, good quality leads.
Yeah.
And we book a call with them at the end of the low ticket purchase. And we try to shift them from thinking about the podcast to thinking about doing a workshop. It's a lot of work, but it's doable. The problem is that the upsell part is just really tough to get people to pay 10 grand to do a funnel, basically a custom funnel build. Logistical issue that I have is that when you do free workshops, the client needs to have their shit dialed in. Meaning, if the sales process is not dialed in, if the offer is not dialed in, and they just have an idea that they'd like to test, and you do a free workshop, you've got to spend $2,000-$3,000 on ads to get people registered. That's no problem.
Yep.
But then if the pitch is off, they are 3K in a hole, and that's a bit of a problem. So what I've been doing is a hybrid model where it's basically like a low ticket, bar deliver it live. So we get some validation with the ads and say, hey, this is what the workshop is going to be about. We sell the tickets up front. So we productize the workshop just like we did with the low tickets. Okay, cool. Let's see if this gets traction, if this gets interest. Because if you've never sold this, then it's a bit of investing 3K on ads and then hoping that it will sell in the backend. It's a bit of I don't know. So we can run a test and see if people buy a ticket, buy some tickets. That way we can adjust the offer. We can see if people want it, if people don't want it, if there's... So this is what we've been pitching. The problem with that is that getting them to pay 10K is a lot of work. Do you think I think we figured out the reason why they weren't paying. It had to do with the sales process. I've been reviewing sales calls and it wasn't dialed in. It was some mistakes because selling from cold traffic is different. Do you think as a low ticket offer going to an upgrade of high ticket, do you think there's an easier way to get people to buy the backend stuff that doesn't involve doing a lot of stretching? Okay, it's 10K and then it's a lot of objections and people ghost and need to think about it. It's not an effortless sale where we're just flooding the gates.
Totally.
People are buying organically, really. Some from ads. Like we make around 40, 50K per month. But it's very hard. It's a lot of work.
Okay, so my thought process on this is that obviously an issue is that you are selling people primarily a podcast offer on the front end, and then you're trying to flip them into a different high ticket offer on the back end. So that's the first point of friction I see, because you're going to end up, again, whatever comes in your front is what's going to dictate what happens on the back end, right? So if your offer is really focused on, hey, use this 12-minute podcast conversation to get clients, and now you guys are like, yeah, okay, that sounds simple. And then you're like, hey, we got to actually spend 13 grand to get this thing working because we have this other system that works better. There can be a big offer misalignment there because they're not coming in under the assumption that this is what's going to work for them. So the first thing I would probably do is, how can I make sure that the people coming in are the right people that would be really qualified for that? And so I would probably work on actually decreasing my front end conversion rate a little bit, but making sure that the people coming in are the right people. Because if you're able to do that, then it becomes a lot smoother for your sales guys if they're coming in and they're like, yeah, I understand this workshop process. This is the process to do it. I get it all. It makes sense. Oh yeah, this is definitely what I want. Whereas when you just have buyers, it doesn't mean they're automatically like $10,000 buyers, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first thing, is like making sure you change the frame on the front end. Again, I would probably even encourage, you can play with this a little bit, especially if your goal is just high ticket Ascension. You can even put some qualifiers in the ads in the page. If you have a high ticket offer you want to sell more of, something like this, or using those qualifiers. If you have audience in an offer you want to sell more of, right? Like that kind of language will work to the right people and exclude the wrong people, right? So filtering your front a little bit better would make a big difference. The other thing I see with this is that if you're going to, I don't know how you guys are pitching this, but if you're doing it a done for you funnel, one of the best things you can do when I used to sell done for you stuff is show them the amount of work you're doing in order so that they see the value, which I think is very hard when you're just having a conversation. So I'm going to see if I have this still. Because I actually learned this process from Funnelytics, like Mikel Dia way back in the day. What was that called?
I freaked out over this weekend because I didn't see that, but this morning I made some changes. This was one of the changes after listening to the sales calls, because they didn't realize what was involved. Like 10K is a lot of money. No, it's really not.
Yeah, no, because they don't understand.
They don't see it.
This is literally one I used to build, and I would present this almost like a pitch. And so 3 core pillars, don't build it yourself. Like we have everyone. And this is like a little bit of this, right? So basically I'd audit them first. And then I would show, hey, here's an example of this working. This is what we're going to build. And then we're going to show you how we're going to roll it out. Timeline, this is what it looks like. All these really specifics. And then look what I do. Yeah, so these are all the things that you got to build. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, so I actually I reversed engineered and I figured out like what people charge. And so like on average, this is what people would charge you to do this. This is easily the value if you go hire freelancers. This is what I charge you. And this worked really well. And then I'm like, yeah, look, risk to reward. Yeah, you start a little bit in the hole, we get it working. And then I've got these upgrades too, if you're wanting any of these things. And then these are the next steps. So I structured this way more as a pitch than a sales call.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, this is pretty good. Is this super private, or can you show
No, you can have it.
Okay.
Just make a copy. Again, I didn't test this at scale. That's my only thing I'll say. But Mikel did, and this is what got his agency to like over $1 million very quickly. Because I think the big thing you're going to want to do is, I would probably make sure you're having, are you doing one step or 2-step calls?
2-step calls.
Okay, cool. So the first one should be the person is gathering all the information. The second one should be, okay, now that I've got all your info, I'm going to talk to our account executive, and we're going to actually put like a little bit of a customized plan for you. And you can, again, like slot in the image. I think this was literally the client that I did this with, right? So I went on his Facebook and I grabbed this, and then I went over here, and here's an example of one of these absolutely crushing, right? 7,000 buyers. Look at that, right? And then I'm going to show you the process. So it's way more of a pitch rather than this. And this converted really well.
Yeah. Okay. That's honest.
This is the golden slot.
That's on me on trusting the salesperson, not trusting, but giving the salesperson too much freedom without checking what they were doing, because that's exactly what I was doing when I was pitching my own high ticket consulting or done for you stuff. Is like showing them, not in this detailed and well crafted way.
Yeah.
But this is what we can do. It's and even possibly having that on a workshop.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I've sold 10K on a workshop now. It's a little bit too much.
No, you can do it, but you could just like, I don't think you could test it.
See if people.
Yeah, honestly, I think you could, but as long as it's relevant, I think people have definitely done this. I mean, I've seen Jason Fladlin literally just say, hey, if you want to join my webinar coaching program, it's 15 grand. And here's the application. You want to fill it out. He's got audience, but you guys do too. So there's always going to be a percentage of people. Just realize the thing you have to remember is, especially in our market, like we're not talking to 10 plus business owner people. We're often talking to like solopreneurs or individuals, right? It's rare that a lot of these people have a team.
We're talking to a lot of business owners, actually, like people
Amazing.
with companies, and not so much. They've got teams to talk to. They get back to the team, and then they want to build it in-house because they have the resources.
Okay. Important thing. So the biggest thing you want to show is in this pitch deck. If that is who you're talking to, then wonderful. Then you want to make sure that you're showing the in-house cost versus your cost. And I always remember this guy who used to pitch enterprise SEO packages for $60,000 a month. He used to do this. And he basically would say, all right, it was like either 60 to 100K per year or per month. I can't remember, but he sold this agency for a lot of money back in the day. And what he basically did is he had a calculator and a spreadsheet saying a lot of our clients want to build this out in-house or they want to do it themselves. And if you look at your hourly rate, the amount of time you got to manage these people, the employees and the assets you need to build, the healthcare benefits, the social benefits, time off, like all of those things, and you factor all that in, like you're going to end up spending double the money to do it in-house. Then if something doesn't work, you guys don't know what to do. So you have to, if that's like an objection you're getting, you just have to structure that in the pitch. And the way I did it is, again, with this slide, like the biggest people I was talking to were thinking, oh, maybe I can hire this out or do it myself. It's like, yeah, these are all the things you got to do. And this is our proven process.
Yeah.
You guys can hand this off and you're welcome to run it, but I think you'll end up spending 5 times as much, right? Because then you're like, oh, you got to take employees off critical projects. You got to move people around. You might have to hire people. Like 1 in 5 people are a bad hire, or 4 out of 5 people a bad hire. People hate hiring so much.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pitch it like this, and what I would probably do is I would know who you're talking to before you jump on the call. And so if you're talking to an organization, then obviously you want to make sure that all the decision makers are on that call before you even pitch it. Like you should make sure that, oh, hey, is everyone here that needs to make a decision? And if they say no, oh no, I'd have to go talk to this person, be like, cool, let's reschedule this call because I don't want to do this. Let's make sure that we can get that person on the call, and don't even do the call until everyone's on there. The nice thing is this is a shareable asset. So at least you can take this and run with it. But if your team puts a narrative or you put a narrative behind it, they don't hear that narrative. It's that old, I don't know, you probably had the same thing in Italy, but that telephone game where all the kids would sit in a circle and one person tells someone else. And then by the end, it's a completely different message. Everyone tells a message. That's what happens all the time. So it's way better if all of the people cannot make a decision on this call. That's a problem. In order to get the ball started, you should charge $5,000. And say, come deposit. This is what you pay now. We get the ball rolling, and then we'll pay this second part after.
So here's what we would really like to do. But these companies, organizations, what if you wanted to pitch one company a month, 50 grand, maybe 2, and build 2 funnels for them, whether it's a low ticket or a workshop?
Yeah,
we would enjoy that much more than having to deal with a bunch of clients. Like, how do you get in touch with those higher level enterprises? Is that LinkedIn? Is that if you happen to know?
That's LinkedIn would be more direct. Honestly, the best thing you could probably do is just go join like a $20,000 or $30,000 mastermind
for leaders.
No, just like you just start meeting people and say, oh, this is what I do. Because you got to think like, where are those people hanging out? Those people are like, gosh, I get so many DMs now from copywriters and people. Like, it's just everyone is those people often, unless it's like a really good cold email that is hitting exactly their pain point and problem, it's like they're going to ignore 90% of it. And they're already probably getting offers right now in their inbox of who it is. I ignore all of them now. I'm just like, you probably just wrote this AI, fuck off. I don't want to hear about your copywriting pitch. So I think my thing is, if you're going to do it, I would run, first of all, you have momentum, like with your front end. So double down on the front end. First of all, like you'll filter, you'll find them. I've had 8-9 figure people buy my thing. And then all you have to do is just make the right offers that those people will pay attention to, because a lot of those people say no because they don't know the offer and they don't understand what you can actually do to help them and support them. And those people automatically assume 99.9% of offers are not for them because they're like, this is blah, blah, blah. I don't want this. Well, you can even say it as a front end thing. Oh yeah, I'm doing a thing where I'll fly out to you. We'll build the whole thing together and then we'll cash flow it over 6 months. And if you want to, we can keep building these out for you over and over again. The right person will pay attention to that.
I think it's more about just making the right offers that only a really small group of people would do.
Yeah, we can potentially build a funnel and get you up and running in 24, 48 hours.
Sweet.
We discovered how to do that. If they pay 18K,
Yep.
we can say, hey, we get you launched in 48 hours.
Yep.
We figured out a way how to do that. That's it. So you don't think that 10K is too much or the offer is wrong?
Nope.
I think in the same way too.
Again, like most people are going to say no. You should have a low conversion rate on that offer.
Right? So how do we get K months then?
You get like 3 to 4 people to say yes, and then you upsell those people into something that's like $100,000 a year.
Right.
Mastermind, done for you, whatever is relevant, but like something high tier and intimate. I got this realization from this guy who I'm meeting him for coffee on Tuesday, but he runs a compliance SaaS business. And he was doing his quarterly planning at the start of this last year. We're just going to make all our money by going into clients, like our existing clients. Like we don't even need new clients. We're just going into existing clients and being like, oh, here's a good upgrade. We can upgrade you here and work with you. He doesn't even need new clients. He's just extracting more money and doing more for the clients he already has. It's easy to think like more, but acquisition is the most expensive piece. All you want to do is just create more opportunities that those people will say yes to. And so that would be, hey, we just did this first funnel. We have a 5K per month option or 10K per month option, whatever it is. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5. It doesn't matter. We'll just cash flow, run your ads, build it all for you and keep building these. We'll do 1 a quarter, whatever that looks like systematically. And our goal is to get you to $100,000 a month. So let's just do that because these people that are going to spend that money, they're either looking to bolt on an extra 100K per month or they're already there. And maybe it's, hey, our goal for every client we work with is bolt on an extra $100,000 a month in profit. So as long as you're framing it the right way of why they're giving you the money, then you're good to go.
Yeah, I think this is good. Having that pitch deck is definitely be the biggest game changer because we're fine with the money. The problem is we're getting too many trial sales from organic and not enough sales from ads to say, we got it.
Yeah.
Like, it's good money, obviously, but I want to put $1 in and get $3 out, $4 out. No problem.
You guys are in a position now that you should be saying, I'm going to spend $1 and make back 75 cents to 60 cents now, but I'll make $5 back next month. That's the game I'm basically going to be switching to. Is I don't even care if this thing burns 30 cents or 40 cents because I know I'll make the 3 to 5K sales in the back. So for you, I think the biggest thing is just creating the offers that people ask for. And I guarantee you, I bet right now with the kind of people in your audience, if you just said, hey, I'm thinking about flying out to someone and I'm going to build them, or you fly to me. I live in this great spot in Italy, fully paid for vacation.
Go to Venice together. Yeah.
Yeah. Come to Venice. We'll build it all together. I'll take you on a wine tour. It's an entirely expenses paid vacation. You'll walk away with a funnel that's going to get you to 100K per month or bolt on an extra 30K per month. There's one spot. It's 25,000. If you're interested, let me know. I guarantee you, like with your audience, I bet there's one person who's, I'm considering this. And so it's like, we never know how much people are willing to spend until we make the offer.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I've had a client that's paid me almost close to $20,000 over 5 months.
That's good.
So it just goes like the price elasticity, there's no ceiling to it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a VIP day. We can totally do that.
Yeah, because the other thing too you can play with is like different offers for different people. Some people might not want the done for you, but they want maybe just to sit down and let's just say, hey, I'd love to sit down with you and get it all done. And you were here for the start of the call, but doing a sprint back could be a great play too, leading into more. And it depends because again, it's like real estate agents, same thing. It's never about selling the first house. It's like you want the 5th house. It's not like you just want to quickly flip a house for one client. It's like you want that client to keep coming back to you over and over again.
That's really the game we're playing. Otherwise, we're going to burn out in client. Like
Totally.
We have a huge roster of clients and it's already almost maxed out, almost. So we want to select a few really good offers, which we have.
Yeah. Totally. And what you could even do too is like you're doing it right now with this publishing model. You're basically publishing this guy, but you could literally go into those businesses and say, hey, we can set something up where we'll build this, We'll do it for free. We just want 50%. We'll take the front end. We'll pay for the ads. We'll do everything. And that could get super lucrative. You could have 2 or 3 of those that are printing you like 100. Same thing. Just install once you figure it out for yourself, the systems, the people, everything, then you just start franchising it, right? That's exactly what Mind Valley did. They're just like, boom.
For that, I'd like to have, though, a ticket, not a workshop. Because a ticket is more scalable, like a ticket funnel.
Totally. You could build them that, man. That's the thing.
Yeah, take one of the... What's a good conversion on low ticket that we should aim at?
Like for sales? Like front end sales, depending on price point, I would say everyone says I've seen 3, but I think people are just weak. I think if you have a really high price, low ticket, like 3%, 2.5%, but I personally think, what are you at, 15 or 14 bucks, something like that, or
27?
Yeah, so you could have like probably 3 to 7 somewhere in there. I've had $27 ones, not at scale, convert well, but I was telling someone recently, I find right now the game for low ticket is you're either low, like 10 bucks, or you're high at 50. And it's like the 50 is like jam-packed entire program, and then you can ascend and have really good upsells. Obviously, your conversion rate takes a dip, or 10 where you're just playing the volume game. Which if you're sending emails and doing all that, I would do the 10 personally.
Yeah, honestly, it's worked always better, even with the previous business that I was with. Broader, really broad. Okay, cool. So you got a call.
I got a call in 15 minutes. I got to answer Fortune's question here, but I would say I think the takeaway for you is structure the pitch. You want to make sure you're showing the value of the done for you. And you could say, you could try to get AI. The biggest thing you'd probably counter is make sure you're structuring about even AI doing it for them. Say, AI is like great and we use it, but even trying to you want to show all of the objections that they're facing. I could hire my own team. I could bring it in-house. I could go hire freelancers. I could do it all myself. I could do all those things, right? And again, if you're pitching a $10,000 build and within that first call, they say, I want to do it myself. They shouldn't have that second call, or the second call should be pitching the done with you program. So you got to make sure that when that has that first triage call is filtering them properly. It's so important, because if they're filtering to the wrong thing, that's an issue. And then, when you do the done for you, make sure you're showing all of the pieces that you're doing, how you're going to hold their hand. Everything is custom. And then, hey, do you know what you could also do as well? Is you could give them, like, piggybacking on what I said at the start, is like, so we're going to build this for you. And then guess what? You're going to get a year or 6 months inside our program, which is done with you in coaching calls, so that they get the best of both worlds. So it's like, we just build it and then you get a year of support to cash flow it.
Yep. Cool.
Make sense?
Good. Yeah.
I think you can get this to like a $15,000 offer if you do it right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for considering all the work that we need to do.
Easily 15.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Fortune, man. You're building books for people. See you both. Sangeeth, I appreciate that. It's been my biggest learning. I'm getting good quality leads at $14.90. Some will become $5, but a lot of them have the potential to become $100. 100%. And there's always going to be people that want more access, one-on-one to you, whatever that is. So again, the nice thing is with the offers is you can test. You can launch your Productized and then see who comes in. And then you can even have a one-on-one with those people and be like, you know what, I think you'd probably be a better fit for working with me one-on-one. That's how I send all my clients. Or even just putting that out to the email list. Hey, I'm opening up a few spots to do one-on-one. It's going to be very selective. It's very tight knit. It's only for these types of people. That's you, right? Sorry?
Would you put up the cost in there?
Totally up to you. I would just make it sound really expensive. It's totally up to you. Depends on volume of people.
At the very least, I think they're buying the upsell after the workshop. So even if they're not buying the productized offer, some aren't. And even those that are not, so the very least they are updating, right? So the $100 more, whatever.
Yeah, because some people literally might just be like, I'm looking for more of a one-on-one solution than a productized. So you never know. Or maybe I'm looking for just like 4 weeks or 5 weeks of support. And so that's what I was talking about. Watch the start of the recording, and I'm going to be doing this where I have different ways to get into the same backend, same program, which is this, but I have, you can just join at $250 a week. Hey, you can give me like 6 or 7K and we'll work together one-on-one for 4 or 5 weeks to get it dialed in. And then I'll support you here for 6 months. Or I got this option. So you have different options and different ways to play it based on what you want to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Fortune, let's dive into this. Install the authority funnel that brings 5 buyers a day in your coaching business, even if you're not a marketer. Build a book sales funnel. how to automate client acquisition, why $3 book can sell when it's in a funnel. What if I don't have a book?
Yeah, it's specific for people who have the book, so I wasn't really worried about it.
Okay.
I did not a survey, but basically a question. And they're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing these 2 workshops. One's on building like the whole thing, all 3, the Wealthy Author Sales Machine, the full thing.
Yep.
Basically an overview of it. And the second one being book sales funnels, and the third option being something else. And all the responses I got back were both. That doesn't help me choose which one to go. So I was like, all right, I'll just go ahead and go with the book sales funnel. And
Cool.
since it was the easiest one to do because I already have one, I'm basically updating it with what I've learned with working with clients in the last several years.
Okay.
And because of what we did the other day with my offer doc, I changed it to an authority funnel because we talked about it being the authority offer is the book offer.
Yep.
So I changed it to the authority funnel.
I think I would frame this as a book funnel then. I think I would change this to something like install the exact book funnels my clients use if you consistently get 5 book sales a day. And I would say paired with the templates, prompts, funnel templates, blah, 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 so that you can do it yourself. Right?
Again, all that, absolutely.
Because I think the authority funnel is confusing and the coaching, I don't understand that it's for a book, right? So you could say, if you have a book, if you wrote a book and you want to make more sales, this is how I do it.
Okay.
Let me think what else. Well, I'll show you how to build a book sales funnel. I would say rather than like how to, I would just focus on install, implement. I've already done the work for you. You just basically copy and paste it into your business. So how to stuff often sells worse than implementation. I think you could do this, change this, how to automate client acquisition. That's just, it's not really clear. Like I would say, because you're basically, I'm assuming with this, you're going to give them the funnel process in the book, right?
Yeah.
Or not the book, sorry.
But all it, it's mentioned in the book because I need people to know. Yeah, people didn't know how to sell the book, so I added that chapter in the last update. So it's mentioned, but yes, that's what this is. Since Marty suggesting I change around the lead on the book page for when I sell my book, more people are buying the upsells for this book sales funnel, which is also the reason why maybe I need to go ahead and update this. So it's mentioned, but it's not necessarily the main point of the book.
So you could do something like, so just to play with this, I would get rid of this live workshop thing. I would instead make sure, I would say the workshop starts and this page self-destructs in ... something like that. And then you had this as your hook. I don't like this. I think you could say, install my authority book blueprint, something like, or install the exact authority book funnel that fires a day and automatically converts to 3 to 20K plus. That you could say systematically pre-sells 3 to 20K plus offers.
Yep.
Install the exact authority book funnel that brings in 5 buyers a day that, something like this, that systematically pre-sells. And you could change that a little bit more, and then just focus. This is, you don't need to tell, they know about a book funnel already. Their book funnel just isn't. So you just want to show, what I would do here is I've built it. I've worked with authors to write, build, and launch cash flowing book funnels, add buyers every single day that effortlessly send to premium clients. And I've already done the work for you. So join me live and I'll walk you through / give you the sales page, the checkout page, the upsell page, the acquisition thing, the emails, the cash sequence to turn buyers into clients and all. And
so scroll down.
Yep.
Scroll down. So keep going. It'll be in like what you get section down there. The next one. Right Perfect. There. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but I would just map it out a little bit better. And I would map it out at the top because they want to buy the tools and they want to buy the asset of how to do it. The other thing you can do as well,
down there, but just intro it in the beginning.
Yeah, so I like to put right here rather than these kind of bullets.
Okay.
Like the quickest way to build a book funnel that actually brings in clients, that's not really too abundantly clear to me. What I would be putting in is saying something along the lines of like how to build the step-by-step process I use to build book funnels and build and get buyers within 7 days, right? Or whatever that process is, right?
Yeah, it's about that.
Right? So yeah, that's the point. So
It doesn't take long once you know what you're doing, and that's the point.
do you have a client that's doing 20K per month with a $3 book?
No, that was one of the things I know we used to talk about, making sure I embrace that what I'm doing. So that was that was gonna be a question. It's like, do I put this in here now? I do know people that are.
Yeah, you could. I think what I would do is you don't even have to put volume here. You just have to say, get buyers, turn them into $3,000 to $10,000 clients.
Yeah, but I definitely at 5 buyers a day. Yes, that's not even yes.
The other thing you could do to make this really simple is you could just focus just on the sales page too. Because
Just basically remove all the intro up here and just go straight into here's where it's going to be, here's what you're going to get, here are the things we're going to go over, and here are all the templates you're getting. Or here's what we use the templates.
Keep it really blunt and just focus on think template proven copy paste versus how to information.
Yes. Okay. Essentially what I was doing. I don't want to. When I get the teaching in the class, teaching in the workshop, the first couple, it was like they got really long. So I was like, I'm not teaching anymore. I want your principle, and here's your guidebook or whatever that basically walks through the teaching portion of here's what it is.
Because I think like the big thing you want to probably do is if someone wants to write a book, probably their goal is to write a book to get clients. So
yes,
I would just hit on that.
And I had to frame it like that because I wasn't. People were like, I just want to tell my story. I was like, what are you going to do with that? Like, how? No one cares about your story. I literally told them, no one cares about your story. What are you going to do with your story? And so when I got enough of those people, I changed the wording on my sales page to make sure now that we're not just telling a story. You need
100%. And honestly, the thing you want to focus on with your marketing is, again, who you attract into buying is who you're going to get in the back end, right? So if you're like your story, that's cool. But the reality is it doesn't hit on the money. And again, instead of how to, like just say you'll automate. Don't say how to. You'll automate acquisition by using that. You'll see how you can get the sales page to sell a $3 book that turns into a 3K client, right? You'll just think you will get this. You'll do this. That's the frame of these that work really well. Versus how to or say goodbye. This is ambiguous rather than definitive. Think very definitive language. Does that make sense? So make a few changes, make it really definitive. Like you get rid of you'll know. This isn't what they want. They don't want to know anything. They just want the tool. You'll copy and paste the exact book funnel strategy I use to do this. Something like that. Keep it really simple.
Sure.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You'll get the story copy framework to do this. Really simple.
Yep.
Cool?
So your note ticker just popped on.
I know. I got another call right now.
Okay. Thank you. We're good.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.